Hello, this is Liz. Welcome to Family. Just try that again. Hello, welcome to Fabric Friday. My name's Liz. This is a quilt top that a lady's given me. When I first got my long arm, I got the quilt to actually practice on, and the quilt top made. And I reached out to a Facebook group that I'm in, and this lady, Pauline, gave me a quilt top to practice on. And she thought it was that good of me, and she kept it. She had it back of me. But she gave me some bits of fabric and that, and this as well. And I thought, oh, I think I'll make this into something for her, because it's only about 38 inches square. Now you could do a similar thing with a pan that you bought, find out the size. I've stitched the border around it to make it 40 inches square. Now I didn't want to add any other colours in it as such, because I haven't got these coloured fabrics. So I'm just sticking to navy blue and white, because it's more or less exactly the same navy blue as in the patchwork. And this is what I do when I'm evolving a quilt, as I think what I like, what I go in with it, and then I do some of it, make some of it up, and pin it all up here and see how it looks, and it looks quite good to me. So I'm now going to actually make these up. I've made 3 of these borders, but I'm going to show you how I make them now. To make these little diamonds, well, diamonds, squares on point, that will match the inside of that, what I've done is taken the length of fabric, 3.5 inches wide, and length of the coloured fabric, 2.5 inches, and 3.5 inches of what I'm using as a background, and then you sew them together all the way down and press your seams into the thinner strip. So I'll do that now and then come back to you. Now we're going to tidy up the edge, so we've got a nice straight line, so you can choose which bit you want to do. So what I'm going to do is try and line up as much as I can on the straight of grain, well, not straight of grain, but on the middle strip. And not the right way around for cutting. That's more or less it. Let's get it all trimmed up, because it was so awkward then. Don't do what I just did, because it's an accident waiting to happen. That's not a very good edge. Let's do it this way instead then. I have got the centimetre side of my cutting mat to the top, so I can't measure it in inches because it's centimetres, but a straight line is a straight line in centimetres or inches. That's better. Now we cut these into 2.5 inch strips. So that's 2.5 inches. Try and line up your middle strip so you know you're going to have that are lined up, and just cut 2.5 inch pieces. Now, as I've already made quite a few of these, I'm not using a full strip width of fabric because I only actually need 3 of these small units, so that's spare. And what you do is take them to your sewing machine, and that's where they just came from. Just stagger them either up or down one. I prefer to do it down, but so that you end up with like a step. Let me show you with that one again. See, this is how it is. So you sew it together, and there's only that to match on each one until you've got as many of these as you want. I want 5, so I'm going to get on and do those now and then show you what's next. I have sewn them all together and just brought each one down a touch. I pressed it to one side, finger pressed, and now just take it to your iron and press it properly from the iron. This is that one I was showing you that I'd done. I got some 2.5 inch strips of plain white, and I just sewed them exactly the same way I was sewing these together, just moved it down a touch, and then did it on both sides, and then I'm going to give this a good pressing as well. Now we have this strip with background colour on either end, and it's pressed out fairly good. I'm not very good on pressing at all, but if you try line it up on your lines, doesn't have to, but it can help you at times. Now you want the 2 inch line right the way down there, going through the points of your squares. That's it, and I'll stop it moving on me. How's that one? That's it. And then all you do is trim that up. The other side. Now you can measure from the 2 inch point again, or measure from your where you've just cut 4 inches. But you can check how accurate you are as well by put your 4 inches on and see if your 2 inches goes through the point, which mine is, surprisingly. And that's placed. Now, because we've added these 2 end bits to it, what I do is line up my ruler on the top line of my patchwork and then just chop it off. Turn it round, do the other side, line it up again, and off. And that's it. we will now add bits to either side, bits of the background. So you can see it's just pinned at the moment because, as I say, I try a bit if I like it, make some more, and it goes on from there. But it'll just go across there, and then I'm going to have a cornerstone of the navy there, and one obviously in each corner, and this will be a stripe there, and I'm going to put a 2.5-inch strip across it. And then, I don't know if this will make it out, but this is what I'm thinking of using as a border. So we'll get the quilt sewn up to as far as it's pinned there, and then I'll get back to you. There we are. Oops. There we are. I've sewn it together, and I think it looks really nice. It's worked out at about let me work this out, 46, 52. It's working out at about 52 inches square. And I think I'm just going to put a big border on it now. How to alter and enlarge quilt blocks. Thank you. Bye.